Hi, Ian here from Studio. One of the things that we have seen over the last few weeks in conversations with school leaders, business managers, those who are looking after the engagement side, management of all the information that's got to go out to do with coronavirus and all the constant changes there. This phrase has popped up: information fatigue. Parents are getting so tired of the amount of information that has to come out. They're not engaging with it in a way that maybe they once were. And we know that picture much more widely as well. So if you think about how government is constantly announcing stuff wherever we stand politically and whatever we think about how that's being handled, there's a need for there to be constant information coming out, and we get tired of it. What we've found is that there are specific things that we can do to make it so it's just a little bit easier for everybody to keep the information up to date, but also that we can do some work to minimize to some degree that problem of information fatigue. I think the first thing to say is that there's always going to be some level of information fatigue when there's so much constantly changing information coming out. So you've got to bear that in mind. You've got to go easy on yourself. You've got to go easy on your parents. But let's do the very best that we can. Our strategy here, and I'm going to show you some stuff, but our strategy here is to aim towards maintaining a single point of entry. So we always say that your website is your primary focus for where parents should be getting information from. And then you will use a range of different channels to point people towards that information. So what we see lots of is emails coming out with tons of information in, with videos in, with links in. And when I then have to trawl through a range of emails to get through that information, I'm constantly looking for the right information. So our approach is very much to create a single point of information that you then maintain and keep up to date. Let me show you what we've created here. So we've built a brand new feature to solve this issue. Like I say, to some degree, hopefully it's a big help. This is sharing this with permission, of course. This is Mount Carmel High School. Their current site, let me just show you this. This is a page on their site at the moment, and they're doing a brilliant job. This is not a criticism in any way, shape, or form. But let's have a look at the information. There's stuff about positive tests. Please get in touch immediately. Absolutely spot on. Load of information there. And if I click it, I can open the actual information to read it, which is great. More updates on what's happening, policies and documents, and a video, end of year stuff. And then there's news that goes on the site that maintains information as well. Actually, what I really need is one place to go and get all this information from. So what we've done is we've created a page on the site and we've called it a knowledge base. So a knowledge base is a group, a section on a website. We have one for all our support articles, which contains all the information you need in one place. I'm going to say this now so I don't forget it, but what you can do is it's absolutely fine if you really need to add links to a page like this that point to sub pages if you really need to, because you could end up with an absolutely epic page and we don't want that. But just be really careful when you're doing that. This page here, I've called it the COVID Information Center, and what our aim is to have this constantly permanently updated with the very latest information. Now, we might rejig where things sit. So we're going to do a welcome message. So this is what you're going to find on here. Please watch the video below and look at the frequently asked questions before getting in touch with somebody at the school. We're going to keep this page up to date with the latest information, so check back here regularly. And then we've got policies and stuff in there. Maybe if I was rejigging it, I would probably put the video first. Yeah, so then the policies. So this is the latest message from the head teacher. That will always be the latest one. So drop the latest one in when you have a latest one and update it. And then this brand new feature that we've added into the system, which is commonly asked questions, it's called this knowledge base. Just to give you a little bit of potted history about my background, years and years ago, I worked in travel and we were doing 40,000 bookings a month with a team of 5 or 6 working in the customer services bit, which is a tiny team for that level of bookings. The reason we were able to achieve that is we put a lot of work into making sure that we understood all the questions that people were going to ask repeatedly. So we monitored that, and then we made sure we answered those questions in the information we sent out as soon as someone booked. We also answered those questions before somebody booked, so it actually increased the chances that somebody would actually book with us. Yay. Then we were able to put together all those answers to those questions that popped up time and time again in a bit on our site that answered all those questions and pointed everybody to it every single time. And what happened is, as you build that and ingrain that into your process, what happens is people start to learn that that is where they should be going for the information that they need. So I'm going to suggest that that's the approach that you take. So we create a page like this on your site, which answers their questions. So my child's forgotten their login details. What are the arrangements for school after lockdown? And we asked school for just some information. So Mount Carmel, we just asked our friends there if they would give us some sample information. So this is just sample information. You could create categories of this, and I'll show you how you do that in a moment. But you would answer all those key questions in here. And then if somebody is in touch with school, you can say, absolutely, we get asked loads of questions like that all the time. Reply in the nicest possible way and say, the answers to the questions are on this page. And the answers to all the questions that we're getting asked are on this page. Please go there. You'll also find our head teacher's most recent message about where we're up to, whether that's written or a video or whatever it is you're doing, and always point them towards it. Then if you send an email out or a text message or an app notification, whatever it is you're doing to keep people in touch and up to date, always point them to this page. So don't send out every bit of information in the email. Send out what you've got to, write a paragraph or two and say you'll find the details, all the questions that we're being asked, everything that you need to know on this page, and we're keeping it up to date. You've got to be consistent. You've got to stick to it. You've got to do it quite religiously for it to work, but it will work. It won't solve all your problems, but it will make it a little bit easier. I would expect it to make it quite a lot easier in terms of management. You've also got the bonus there of, if you look at here, just jump back down, how do I request, for example, a free school meal parcel? If that question's being asked a lot, and you've got people who are answering the phone or answering emails, if this is the answer that you want to put in front of your parents, your staff should have this in front of them when they're answering those questions as well, so that your messaging is consistent, which is a massively important thing, because you won't then find that you've got different messaging coming out in different places because you have a single point of information for your staff as well. Just let me very quickly show you how that works in the system. So this is our school website system, our software. If you're a client, this will be available to you. We will need to turn it on for you, so please request that. But basically, you're going to have categories, and I've basically created one called COVID Information Center. And then I've got my articles, and I'm going to go into edit that one. And it's very simple. I choose the category it sits in. I give the question, I write the blurb, and I can drop whatever I want in here when I want to answer a question. So you can pad that out with as much information as you want, and then you're going to save that there. If I very quickly go into categories here and just edit that, this is where you'll see, if I jump onto that tab again, all the information that I've added in here. So my introductory information, my policies and documents embedded there, my latest message from the head teacher. This is where I'm editing all that content as well. So it is the blurb that sits above. So everything you add in here will sit directly above your frequently asked questions. And of course, you can use that for anything you want. So you can use it for admissions or anything. But actually, right now, this is a really, really helpful thing, hopefully, for those of you who are just struggling a little bit to maintain the best possible source of information for your families. So I hope that's helpful. You know where we are. If you want any help with that, do get in touch if you want that turning on. If you're not a website client, you want to discuss how we can help with this specifically, or any other issues, then we're more than happy to just offer some advice. Always here. Thanks so much. Take care.